I'm Roger Grossman with Mark Skabowski of Remax Lakes with Real Estate in Real Time. Woody is out today, so I'm in. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm working with the legend today.
No, you're not.
The man, the myth, the legend.
No, you're not.
Take it over.
I'm an audio person, so doing video this way and trying to host the show is a little heavy.
You're working hard. You're getting double duty today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which 2 times 0 is still 0. so there's that. But we're off and running.
We're going.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. The market. We're hearing more and more people say the market is slowing, but that doesn't mean the market is slow.
Correct. And that's a great way to put it. Every morning I get up and I check the news, right? It's what I do. Reading through the news, and you're seeing more and more articles about the housing market slowing down. And depending on the persuasion, politically, economically, whatever, from the news center, we're seeing those that are saying, oh my God, the sky's going to fall. We're going to see 2008, 2009 again, versus those that are saying, it's not that big a deal. It's just normal progression. We're not going to fall off a cliff. So, trying to help people sort through that. My personal opinion, I don't think we're going to fall off a cliff. There's so many things that are impacting the housing market right now. The biggest is low interest rates. They're still 3% or lower on a 30-year fixed mortgage. How long is that going to continue? I don't know. But if you see those interest rates kick up, I think you'll see a more immediate slowdown. But money is readily available, whether it's government stimulus, whether it's the fact that people are saving because they're working from home. I mean, I have friends that work at Depew that haven't been in the office in, a year and a half.
Yeah.
So, obviously office attire has backed off from years ago.
Yeah.
Right? You're not wearing suits every day.
No.
But, you're wearing, khakis and a button-down shirt. Well, dry cleaning costs. Now, it's minimal, right? Mark, you're looking at pennies. No. $4 a shirt or whatever to do that, times 5 shirts a week, there's money that you're not spending because you're sitting at home in shorts, flip-flops, and a tank top working. Or maybe you put that button-down shirt on for a Zoom meeting or something like that. But, overall, there are dollars available, and people are using those for housing. So I think the national media is playing it up, the market is slowing, and I think the reality is, it is. But is it going to fall off a cliff? I don't think so.
It's rarely fallen off a cliff. I mean, isn't that part of why you think it's not going to fall off the cliff is because it doesn't.
Right. We have not seen that. 08, 09, that housing bubble, there were so many factors, and we did a show a month or so ago about what led up to that. We're not in that same position today. So, the other thing that I think is a reason why that we're starting to see a slow is prices. I mean, they're growing astronomically, right? That same media that's talking about there now being a slowdown has been promoting, 10%, 12%, 15% price appreciation. And how many times have we said on the show, it can't continue this way. There is no way we can continue to have 15% price appreciation year over year because wages don't go up 15% year over year. So, I found an article about new housing starts, and this is just an indicator of where prices have gone in our marketplace. New housing starts have actually slowed down, and this is right out of an article from the Census Bureau. The inventory of new homes for sale jumped from a 5.5 month supply in May to a 6.3 month supply in June. What does that mean? Over the course of a month, there was 1 month's more worth of inventory available. So what have we been talking about? There's no inventory, things are selling very quickly. Well, we're starting to see, and again, it was just a matter of time. Economically, builders are going to play catch up. It takes a while to build a house. You don't just flip the switch and, oh, poof, we have a finished house. So there's more houses on the market. However, the average sales price is up significantly. And locally, the average sales price for new construction is about $339,000.
That seems really high.
That is really high. And again, we were talking a little bit off air. Maybe I'm just the old guy, but I've been doing this a long time, and to see $340,000 be the average price for traditional residential housing, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's craziness. Now, obviously, there's still buyers out there with an appetite for it.
Somebody's paying that.
Somebody's paying it, and that it's all of those factors that go into how and why can they pay that. I don't know. So prices are definitely higher than they have been. The median price of a newly built home in June, this is again national, rose only 6% from June of 2020. Now, and we can talk about, all of the reasons, the costs that go into a home, and how that impacts builder pricing. And maybe after the break, we can go ahead and do that.
Let's do that. You're listening to, and if you're watching on YouTube, you're watching Real Estate in Real Time. And we're back on Real Estate in Real Time with Mark Skabowski. So, to go from a house that 10 years ago would have cost $250 to build, now it's $350. Materials has been the biggest part of that, right?
Materials are the biggest thing, and although we've seen some pullback, anybody who's listened, faithfully, and we know there's a few of you out there. I know my mom does, so we got at least one person listening on the weekend. But how lumber prices were outrageous.
Yeah.
Wages have increased. For builders to keep employees, they've got to be competitive on the wage front. All the raw materials, logistics costs, add in that shortages, right? So what used to take for a normal, not custom build, 4 to 5 months, they're now taking 5 to 6 months. So you've added about a month into the time frame on getting homes built. And part of that is a supply shortage. You hear about it with electric vehicles and chip shortages and this, that, and the other thing. You're not thinking about it in the housing market, but appliances. Trying to get appliances for these builders.
Really?
The time frames are terrible. Again, what is that? You've got electronics. Think about a stove today, right? You've got electric controls. You've got, steel. You've got, all different types of materials that go into that, and they're not readily available. So, prices have increased as a result of market conditions. The good news for the housing market is buyers are continuing to be in the market, although, we started the show with, is the market slowing? Yes, I think it is. Some of that is buyers are worn out. They're sick and tired of beating their heads against the wall, trying to win a multiple offer situation when, as I've talked about in the past, the list price was the baseline. It was the low level. It wasn't the top. We're back pre-pandemic. List price, you negotiated up to the list price. Now you're starting at the list price and negotiating above. So, I think buyers are beginning to, while there's still a lot of activity, they're looking for just the right one. They're not jumping on and buying anything that pops on the market right now. So, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown when it comes to that. The fact that inventory is still relatively low. Even though we've got 13 new homes under construction, the existing homes that are coming on the market, we're just not seeing a lot of them popping in. Now, sellers, I think you've missed the peak. I think they have missed the peak of the market, but it's still a very good return for any seller that is thinking about putting their house on the market. There's still profits or gains to be made by selling your house at this time.
It's like when you're watching the Olympics and you hear them talk about slow times for swimmers. I heard Rowdy Gaines talking about this in the Olympics coverage. He was talking about this person, that's a slow time. Hey, that's faster than any of us can swim.
Yeah.
So that term is relative, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Slow down, yeah, it's slower,
right,
but it's not slow.
Right. And that's where when we talk to folks at work, well, I bought mine for X and I'm selling it for Y, and I got, times are a little bit different. And when I say that, in a very relatively short period of time, here we are in July, we're back in May, totally different time. I mean, things have shifted since May. So when we say that real estate is local, it definitely is. When we say it's timely, it definitely is. And this is self-serving. When we're saying you need to be working with an agent, you really need to be working with an agent. I've had numerous people call, hey, I just saw this hit Zillow, is it available? Well, Zillow doesn't update that frequently. You missed it by a day. If you're not in day one, you're out of the game. So, is the market slowing? Absolutely. Is it still a good time for buyers if you have to move? Yes. Just be cognizant of that the market is a little bit slower. Maybe you're gaining back a little of the advantage that you haven't had for the last couple of years. Now, I'm not saying go in 20% below list price for something that's on the market one day, but the buying power for buyers is beginning to improve. Sellers, hang in there. If you need to sell, sell.
How much of things that have happened over the last, we'll call it 15 months, probably in a little longer than that, how much of those things will linger and how much of them are permanent? We talk about that, you're going to offer 20% less.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's just, they're going to kick you out and not
Right.
even listen to anything else you say.
Right.
How many of those things carry on beyond this hot period that we've been in?
I think the multiple offer negotiation tactics are going to remain. I don't think you're going to go back to our 10% off or whatever. I think sale prices, agents are going to do a better job about pricing. I think buyers are more educated. I think we're going to sell much closer to those list prices. That 99% of list to sale price, I think we're going to see that continue on. The things that aren't going to continue, who knows? I wish I had the crystal ball to forecast what's going to happen. But overall, as long as interest rates remain low, buyers, it's still a good time. If you need to buy a home, it's a good time to get out there and buy.
Okay, Mark, your contact information.
Sure, our website's lakes-realtors.com. Phone number's 574-834-1233.
Okay, you've been listening to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm Roger Grossman, filling in for Woody Zimmerman. Be tuned every weekend for this show and get more information from Mark at that contact information that he just gave you. Have a great weekend.